Okay, so last stream was a disaster, at least in my personal opinion, because we didn't really get to do anything much of interest in Disney Infinity 3.0 after logging in to that game for the very first time this year. And, oh my god, the playback. Also, another reason as to why it didn't start off so well is because my internet is going berserko mode. I don't know what it's doing anymore. It's like it has a mind of its own. So, we're just going to do MD3 for now. And we'll see what happens from there, because I have a lot of setup located everywhere, and I'm trying to make it good, but I don't know, I guess the outside world is messing around. And I got a brand new, spanking good, alternate version of that thumbnail you all love. That's right, everyone. Red knee surgery. Okay, so you know what? We can just go to training, right? And go from there, but also we need to grab some stuff real quick. Make sure that even with trouble, we can still
Get ready for the fight of your life.
Okay, I'm here, and 4 minutes. No, I doubt that. It's more than 5. More than likely. Just an educated guess, I believe. And we're gonna be going to the same thing that we were last time. Yeah. The very iconic, lovely duo. Not duo, trio. Because, again, Taskmaster is really starting to creep me out the way it looks. Anyways, we are going to be going. That would be nice. Real good I don't even know what that even means, but yeah. So now we're going to be reading some of the worst stories to ever exist, everyone. With grammatical errors and everything above that just makes things a lot worse. So, let's get to it. Where were we? In the last stream, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about it anymore. Everybody Loves Raymond was a mostly okay show.
It starred Ray Romano, a stand-up comedian who is mostly famous for cracking jokes about moving the toilet seat.
Watching NASCAR.
Claiming it's a compliment to doing for an Italian chef. That sort of thing.
I bought the DVDs once as a blind purchase and didn't think too much of them, but my mom loves the program, so I gave them to her. That decision will haunt me for the rest of my life, but I should probably clarify. My mom loves a DVD a lot, and nothing bad happened to her or anything. One night, I was hungry and in need of pizza, so I called the pizza shoppy using 1-800-COLLECT, which sounds like it would be a scam, but okay. It was a pretty big mistake, given that Collect calls balls. Okay, Collect calls balls. Okay, forget it. Given that Collect calls balls these days can cost like $576 for 6.5 minutes, but I did it as my 80s walkie-talkie cell phone has a habit of being way too staticky if the duct tape was inside to the antenna side of me. The conversation began as normal, though I noticed that the pizza guy's voice sounded a lot like the brother character from the Raymond television program. Yeah, Robert actually is a real person. It's just that's not his name, and he's portraying a fictional character, so you never know. What if he is working at the pizza shop? That's not too eerie. Alright. What do you want on your pizza? The gentleman asked. Pepperoni's kind of my thing. Though if you ask for that in Italy, they'd bonk you on the head and hand you a pile of hot, full steaming peppers. I replied. Wait a minute. I have to scratch my balls. The guy responded. Good God. All I wanted was a pizza. I freaked out, and without giving my address or credit card information, I hung up the payphone. Given that I had to drive 70 miles on my way to find a payphone to begin with. Wait, what? I knew I wouldn't be able to get back home in time, but anyway. Anyway, everybody. I looked up in the sky, the Georgia mountains teased me, and I didn't bring anything with me on my vacation besides a hatchet and a copy of the Book of Mormon, which I read every day. Okay, now I get why this is on Spin Pasta. At first, you can say, because I've seen this before, they're like, oh yeah guys, LolXD, I'm scratching my nuts aggressively, and it's just like, just there in a creepypasta for whatever reason, but this, I obviously delicious. Anyways, I used to just use the club when it came to make meats. Okay, you know what, that makes sense, I did miss something. Okay, the hatchet can say I've used it before. I carry it around for protection, and I used to just use it. Okay, this is some weird grammar, man. The club when it came to making sure nobody stole my car, but once it spread all over the World Wide Web how to hack open that S-word, I traded it for the old pickaxe. I named it Susan after George Costanza's fiance from Seinfeld. The judicial executives worldwide would have to have a discussion with me, man. I stuck my keys into my yellow 1977 Ford Pinto. The engine wouldn't start. This meant I was lost in the middle of Georgia without an out. Furthermore, I was still hungry. I picked up Susan and gave her a kiss. You don't want to be kissing hatchets or pickaxes or anything similar to that. You're going to get scratches on your mouth and you're going to start bleeding. All crazy stuff. I stroked her wood. So what, is she a drag queen or something? And she stroked my heart, I guess. I knew what I had to do. If I was going to survive out here, I had to make my own cabin and pick fruits and veggies to survive in the short term. What does this have to do with Everybody Loves Raymond anymore? Maybe if I found a cow, I could make my own cheese, and therefore my very own pizza. Father always said that it tasted better when it came from nature's own oven, rather than your grocer's freezer. I gave Susan the wick, not the sharp part of her, of course. Oh, okay, thank you for clarifying. The rocky nonsense path. A couple miles in, I had some luck. I found an uninhabited tree, no squirrels or any of that. That would be just right. Yes, filled with multiple views. Without thinking twice, I went chop, chop, chop. Timber, I cried, even though I hadn't even put a dent in the sucker yet. My hands hurt like hell. I took a breather before starting up again. I said, "Timber," I yelled. Went up the next, sent chills down my spine. "Shut the F word up," yelled a man who really didn't have to yell, given that he was now standing right next to me. He looked like an ordinary yokel, but something about his voice seemed so familiar. Like I knew this man from somewhere I'd been before, or something I had watched. Subtle foreshadowing there, my guy. Or subtle hinting, or whatever you're gonna term it. Your own words. Oh, I had a feeling I knew this man, but from where? "Do I know you?" I responded sassily, waving my hand in the air like something out of Jersey Shore. What? "I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees," he shouted back with a smile. It was so hard and high-pitched that I was surprised I could hear it, and not just the dogs. "Okay, seriously, who are you?" I rebutted with a scowl. I had no time for Dr. Seuss jokes. I was really hungry. My car was broken down. I needed shelter because the storm was up ahead. I knew this by looking at the clouds. My Native American AIDS. My Native American AIDS blood me in using nature to predict weather. Some people say I'm a funny man. Others say I'm just a regular old average Joe guy. Others call me Raymond. The chill swept back in. Everybody loves Raymond. Out here in the middle of the Georgian wilderness, my heart Harlem shaked. What were the odds? Wait a minute, I thought to myself if I was sit aloud, because I have a variety of extreme mental illnesses. This must be a mirage. I haven't eaten in several hours. My blood sugar must be effed up. I'm hearing things. I'm seeing things. I was cut off by the courtesy of Mr. Romano himself. He shushed me, which I usually can't stand, but hey, it was Ray Barone. I have a place where we can go. We can sit out the storm, and my wife will heat up some hot cocoa for us. There's only one thing I ask for in return. My unconditional love? No, stupid. I mean, friend Susan. Please give me Susan. How would this guy know my pickaxe's name? I shrieked in horror, carrying her like that guy in that one famous novel, Peck That Rabbit, and ran and ran and ran. I didn't turn around. I didn't look back. I ran down the mountain, past the rocks, the streams, the birds, the Bullwinkle J mooses, whatever. But then I noticed that my inventory... Inventory is misspelled, by the way. Seemed lighter. My Book of Mormon. I dropped it in the dirt trail behind me. I could make out Raymond's scowl as he picked it up and made me take a dump in my pants. His eyes were glowing red. Not only that, but they zapped my book into pieces. What's more believable, this or that Joseph Smith truly had golden... What is this story, man? I swear, search this up. Search up everybody else running creepypasta. This isn't something I wrote. This is real. Oh my god. He chuckled. Found this anti-religious bigotry absolutely unacceptable. I think you mean I found this anti-religious bigotry absolutely unbearable and unacceptable and not approvable. I stormed my way out, no pun intended, because of, the weather, back into Raymond's way. My signed Fieldian weapon shining the little $7 remaining as I hacked the TV sitcom legend into guts, blood and bone. Not everyone loves you. I hate you. I really effing hate you. I screamed as I regressed into a disheveled, animalistic madman. Man. Okay, a man. I pounded him so hard that Susan's head flew off into the wind. Why did you do this? She tearfully whispered to me as her life was also cut short. I laid down onto the dirt path and risked my head into Raymond's hacking/torso. I cried and cried as I realized that I was fully stranded, not just physically, but psychologically. The mess, the few remaining pages of my book had been torn to shreds and covered in blood and gory ooze. I had no possessions other than the clothes I was wearing, a tank top and a classic white underwear. That was when I remembered my car, but I no longer wanted it. It now belonged to whoever needed vehicular transportation, but as an animal, all I needed were my legs. I crouched down on all fours. I hadn't shaved in weeks, which is spelled with an I. And I would never shave again. I killed a man that everybody, including myself, loved, and the only way to compensate for it was to live as uncivilized as I was. I wandered off into a foresty area and ate some grass as I remembered my childhood, how much I hated it. I fell asleep on a leafy bed as the rain trickled down on what was left of the men Raymond and I were. I woke up in the middle of the night. It wasn't the lightning that did it either. My blood-reddened face starred up at a man wearing a Domino's pizza hat and conveniently holding a festive pizza delivery box. Pizza delivery for a Jonathan? No, that's not it. Peter? No, that's not it either. No! No! No, it went away. The website glitched out. This is all very anti-Semitic Peter Griffin action here. And I say that because it was mentioned Peter, Amy's brother, who was the replacement for P.D. Herman, the comic book star. Anyways, the pizza man rolled his hand under his chin like the anchor statue as he tried to recall who it was that had ordered the pizza. Are you looking for Raymond? I managed to say between gasps and breath. I swallowed one of my teeth in the process. It was okay because I didn't really want to live anymore. Yeah, that's the one. He called us using a payphone a couple miles down from here. Funny thing is, our shop is right across the street from the phone. Haha. What a barrel of blast, man. He said something like one of the characters from the Beatles cartoon or something. That is a very oddly specific reference, but I'm gonna accept it. For whatever reason. Oh, that's really hilarious, I sighed. Those S's were pronounced like cheese because my teeth and the shape of my mouth were really effed up at this point. I sounded like the Geico caveman, but I couldn't save anybody. No, I couldn't save anybody money on car insurance or anything like that. I was a freak of nature. Well, here you go. Bon appetit. It's not even spelled right. It's just bon appetit. The world? He squealed. He handed me the box, and I fidgeted with it, trying to open it. Instead of the box wasn't a pizza, but a sleekly designed modern cell phone looking. That is the most jacked up sentence I've ever read in my entire life. Looks like you have a call, the pizza delivery man smiled. I told him I didn't know how to handle the godforsaken thing, so I had him answer the call, and then I handed over the phone to him. Hello? I struggled to inquire as I vomited up what looked like the acroprag from the Nickelodeon's Guts television program. This is your mother, Mr. Winston, and I am greatly disappointed in you. Tears rolled down my cheeks as I tried to explain to my own mom what had happened. But before I could finish it, everything started fading around me. I guess that this is what would happen when he died. I didn't bulge. I closed my eyes. I was ready for life to let me go. As some sort of studio can rapper sound penetrated my ears. Matter that slowly built up, but then rushed into my ear canals like ocean waves in a great tide. I woke up in a television studio. You did an excellent job there, Dr. Ivan Beavis. This is the greatest episode of Everybody Loves Raymond ever. A fat, bald man slapped a high five to a younger blonde-haired man with a very disheveled protest face. It seems that the serum has produced the desired effects. A brown-haired gentleman in the doctor's suit suggested his name, Tigrit Vic. I was back in good health some way, somehow. My desire to live was certainly blossomed, too. So strong that I had no idea how I had ever lost in the first place. What is going on here? I was really tired and still very hungry. We're gonna go to Applebee's now, Richard asserted. Everything will be explained to you there. Wait, what about Raymond? I hesitantly get curiously inquired. Oh yeah, you hacked him into pieces, alright. Richard laughed. I put the phone over my hand to my eyes, got more tears than ever. The end. There is no moral to the story. Now, anyways, I want to know if there's any home movies, creepypastas. Oh, there's a video, too. Oh, never mind, it's gone. Oh, well. This was a very horrible story, and I would not read it again. Home movies, creepypasta. Memories! Here we go! There actually is one, and the actual thumbnail is just Brendan. His name's not Brandon, it's Brendan. Oh my god. I'm already looking at very small snippets of the story, and it already looks horrible. But I'll be right back really quick. I'm gonna go verify if there isn't some strange occurrence at the window. So in the living room. Hey you! I'm back and I changed my microphone. I don't even know if it's working anymore. Let me check the playback on my phone real quick. If it works. If it works, guys. So I'm gonna be saying random things, okay? Blah, 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 blah. No, we're good. We are definitely very good. We got our professional setup here, but unfortunately I'm still not able to play Spotify because the internet is not allowing my phone to do it. But for whatever reason, YouTube's working. What a terrific double standard. But anyways,
go away, Brandon. Get out of my sight. A loud, booming voice yelled. The door slammed shut on Brandon Small.
That's not his name, it's Brendan. My God, guys, get it right. It's very, very anti-Semitic of you to not understand home movies and then go out of your way to claim that because there's an orange and a 33 in one of the episodes that there's some gematria connection to everything. Anyways, a loud, booming voice yelled. The door slammed shut on Brandon Small. His face showed with both sadness and a feeling of being heartbroken. You know what? Let's go with the same team also. I'm not even really paying attention to what's going to be going on the screen. And again, when I do Disney Infinity, I want to be very focused because, again, this whole stream, besides just getting some sparks and like barely any more items from the toy box store, I'm just going to call it that from now on. I don't really feel like anything really happens, so the next time I do it, I'm going to actually start getting pixel art images that I copied off of, and we're going to rebuild them. It's going to be pretty fun. And then maybe after that we can go back to Minecraft. But for now, we're going to be reading some creepypastas to where I can't really be focusing on the actual game that's being played at the same time as reading the monstrosity that is the Everybody Loves Raymond Spin Pasta fanfic. Anyways, let's get back to this. But first, let me get on Simcoe and Taskmaster, who I still feel very, very disturbed by. I don't know what I was doing there. But whatever. So he stared at the closed door before sighing as he walked off back to his car. Entering the driver's seat, he decided that he would go to his mother's house for the night to vent all of his ongoing anxiety out. Entering his mother's house, he noticed him. Hollow was aware about how much his son went through. He sat on the table with his mother sitting on the other chair, and he said, "It happened, Mom. She broke up with me." Brandon said, "It's Brendan!" Yeah, I am playing horribly. Come on. I don't know if this is going to work after all. Maybe I'll just go back to training after this. But, let me see how I do against Fox. I think we should go back to training. I feel like I'm going to get too invested in the story. Like I just said previously, but I don't feel very confident in it. Or the ability to multitasking and something like that. Oh! Alright, you know what? Let's go back. Okay. Brandon's still heartbroken about his going-to-be girlfriend breaking up with him as he stared down at the table. Paul aside before telling Brandon kindly, "Oh, Brandon, I get it about the issues you've been through." Okay, hold on. Real quick. Man, this whole entire time of doing the live stream for whatever reason, I just feel dusted, man. Really, really dusted. And I mean that in a way that just means completely defeated. I don't know why. Anyways. Where was I? Oh, Brandon, I get the issues you've been through ever since you graduated from school. But you will gonna try again with a different... Okay, that's already an error right there. But you will gonna try again. Not happening. Brandon Oh! Now it's Brendan! It says Brendan! What's up with the story? It doesn't make sense! I might never get the chance to live a happier life. I'll just stick to alcohol until the day I die. Isn't Brendan a 9-year-old? He said, his voice sounding like he would break down in the next few seconds. Brandon, alcohol doesn't make you feel better. It just makes you feel worse, Paula said, trying to tell Brendan about the meaning of alcohol. As Brandon looks up to her, his face stared with a mixture of the confusion. Rather than drinking, why not just watch some of your old home movies you made with your friends when you were a kid? Oh my god. It wasn't even established that Brandon here was a young boy, so... And it's talking about him in a way, the description, the actual description for the story itself. It's promoting the story in a way that implies that Brendan is still going to be a kid, so like... What's going on here? None of this makes sense. Paula suggested, as he hears this... And he already started a sentence with a lowercase letter. Brandon remembered the times where he used to do film, making his friends making various movies such as horror and all that stuff. I'll try, Mom. Let me just go to the basement for now, he said, exiting the kitchen as he walked down the basement. In the basement, he looks around in the basement, seeing a box of VHS tapes stacking next to various objects along with a hooked TV and a set of beanbags still left there as always. As he took some of the home video tapes out of the box, he turned on the TV and inserted the first tape. You know what? I'm going to take a real quick break. I think I'm going to be done to chill live streams. You know what we can do? I'm going to go back to what I did on Twitch a long time ago. I think it was like July of last year. No, June, actually. It's just it hasn't been archived for that long. But, there I'll just dedicate an entire time to reading these creepypastas. But there are lots of time. But what I wanted to do was provide actual gameplay during this. But I guess I failed miserably at that objective, so I think I'm just going to go back to doing the creepypasta, spin pasta, and copy pasta readings in an entirely different subcategory series. And then when I actually do have gameplay, it can be a little bit more quiet. It can actually be an accurate description that matches chill, and that's where I'll be doing the Disney Infinity stuff and continuing that Minecraft build, which I have not done ever since that last stream. But moving on. Back to the story. It was a homage to the 1954 film Creature from the Black Lagoon, which included himself as his childhood friends, Melissa and Jason. Dang, Brendan must be really, really talented because he can just become gender fluid in an instant, dude. Included himself as his childhood friends? Dang, man. Brandon played the role of Dr. David. I'm not sure if that's the actual doctor that was voiced by Tom Kenny. Here we go. Another mention of Tom Kenny. I first mentioned Dr. Octopus in Disney Infinity. And then we have another doctor who was in home movies and voiced by Tom Kenny. Anyways, Melissa played the role of Kay Lawrence, while Jason played the role of the Gill Man himself. Brandon chuckled at how nostalgic and fun they had during the making of the homage at the time. He continued watching the whole 15-minute tape as we watched the entire tape itself before it ended. The tape ejaculated himself. Oh. No! It's ejected. The tape ejaculated himself. Alright, guys. The tape ejaculated himself as he took it out. He then put another tape in. This one being his first home movie ever. A homage to Easy Rider under his name Easy Trikers. Now let me go down here. He then put another one, and another one. Just as he's finished with them, he noticed the tape that had never before during his filmmaking years, nor he filmed it over. I don't know what that means. Anyways, a blank tape with red words memories labeled on it. Curious about the tape, he inserted inside the player, ready to see what contains in it. He was not ready for what he had seen. The tape started with static before clearing out to a view of Brandon himself. He was a newborn in the video as his mother Paula was rocking back and forth on a rocking chair, singing a lullaby to make him sleep. The camera zoomed into Brandon's face as he slowly drifted off to sleep. And after the lullaby was done, a familiar voice can be heard. Is he sleeping? The voice asked.
Yeah, he is.
Paula said to a mysterious cameraman. The cameraman then switched towards himself. It was Andrew, Brandon's father. Okay, that's not really that much of a surprise. He already came on the actual show, and then he had like that girlfriend or that wife, that girl that he eventually married that was of age. Barely, I think. Or maybe I have that detail wrong. Anyways, he smiled softly as he turned the camera off. Then several montages of Brandon himself as the baby then appear on screen as Brendan. Again with the changing, is it Brendan from Home Movies, or is this a different Brendan from like, I don't know, Pen 15 or something? Story. As Brendan stared at the TV, his eyes drifting that to tears, he couldn't bear it much longer. Dad, he said. He then broke down, sobbing quietly as he remembers his times with his father before the couple decided to become divorced. Andrew himself may be estranged, but they are close as ever, like a father and son would. There is a time where they opened up a pizza club where the coach, John McGurk, was excluded from. Yes, I remember the episode, but that isn't a detail you include in a story like this. This is awful writing. As Brendan finished his own time of sobbing, he was stopping as he looked at the tape before giving it a soft smile before putting it back into the box just like the other tapes. He knew what to do, but also wanted to fix himself as well. Just so he would want to make it up for himself and become the happy person that he was wanting to be for a long time. That wasn't even scary! That was just awful writing. What was that? And the wiki isn't even called Geoshia anymore. Even after a whole rebrand change, it was still called Geoshia, so where'd that go? Proudly hosting 1,000... Nombre! What have they done? Guys, there are 34 suicide stories about SpongeBob. And apparently 38 MatPat creepypastas. Either that's just a thumbnail. Max and Ruby 0004. Okay, let's go with this one. I don't care anymore. These are all awful. It was just this Christmas that went by, and things were getting busy. I had to start buying presents for the family. I had finished shopping, but still needed to grab a present for my little cousin. We can do the Mama Max voice while reading this, guys. She's not very hard to shop for since she is 4. She likes things like Peppa Pig and My Little Pony. She really liked, and I say liked for a reason, Max and Ruby. So when I decided to go looking for a present, I figured something like a Max and Ruby DVD would suffice, since she liked to watch it on a daily basis. However, Christmas meant the most of the online DVDs were sold out on most places. I went to look on eBay as well, but figured I could not trust what condition the DVDs would have been in. Get ready, everyone, for some grammatical errors. I already see it looks so awful. So I was stuck in a rut for a while until that package arrived. I was at home, still scrolling for a stupid DVB until I heard the sound of something being pushed into my letterbox. I catch a hold of it before my dog did, and I looked at the package. It seemed to be wrapped fairly bad, with what looked like grease marks and stains on it. Naturally, like anyone would, I decided to open the package. Inside was something that I could not explain. It was a Max and Ruby DVD, which you ordered, so why would that be something you couldn't explain? It's a Max and Ruby DVD. Why I had not seen one like it online. Dude, people make fake covers all the time. It was like some little kid had drawn on the front cover for marker. There's your answer. The title was just Max and Ruby, with what looked like a poorly drawn illustration of Max and Ruby on the front. If you had to ask me, those look like some deformed Pokemon. Like the actual image of what it's describing is actually included in the story. And it doesn't look like Max and Ruby at all. I don't know what this guy's on. There were no names or anything, but on the back it had listed 4 episodes, all with blunt titles. I gave the DVD a watch over, and to my surprise, the episodes were all perfect quality and seemed to have no flaws. It was as if a real DVD was in my home, just with a homemade cover. That is a weird sentence structuring technique. I don't know how else to describe that. The only thing I thought was odd was the episode selection screen. The episodes had names, but they were all called Max and Ruby 1. The numbers being changed as it went down the list. The actual selection screen was just a plain white screen with black text with the episode list and nothing else. After giving it much thought, I decided to change the cover to something a little nicer by printing out a DVD cover that I had found on Google and tracked down the names of the episodes they were labeled right. I left the episode list screen alone because I figured it was self-explanatory. And Christmas went by. And things were pretty fine. I gave my little cousin her DVD and she was very happy with it all throughout Christmas and after that. But that was only because she had not watched it yet. Wow, dude. Even after Christmas, she's still happy with the DVD just being there collecting dust. On Boxing Day, the family had gone out for a meal and left me to babysit my cousin. I was not too bothered about being left home alone. Figured now was a good time to put on the DVD for her. So I had to put in the DVD. Again, I say it like that because there wasn't a period. It was just a run sentence. I'd put the DVD in, I'd play. And while I was in the kitchen eating my dinner, from what I could hear, she had watched episodes 1 and 3 so far. I was just about to finish my ramen noodles when I heard my cousin screaming from the upper room, dropping everything I had. I ran into the living room and saw my cousin curled up on the floor screaming. I looked up at the TV and I felt my heart in my throat. What I caught a glimpse of was one of the most disturbing things I'd ever seen. It was what appeared to be a frame of Max and Ruby standing next to each other. Oh, okay, that's not that too bad. In complete darkness. Oh, that's still not too bad. But what made it so horrible was their lack of faces. They had lost their noses and their mouths, and their eyes were replaced with big, hollow holes. The colors were a disgusting blood red, and there was a faint static in the background. The sound was replaced with what looked like the Max and Ruby theme. Looked like the Max and Ruby theme playing backwards with the faint sound of static in the mix of it all. It had to be the most disturbing thing I'd ever seen, and it must have been on screen for at least 20 seconds before the screen went black and the DVD turned it off. Which alone was weird because DVDs do not usually turn off by themselves. Dude, we know! Come on, man! I was able to calm my cousin down, telling her it was not real, and she had just had a nightmare. She was falling asleep in front of the DVD. However, I know in my mind it was completely real. My parents had rung me up and told me that they were going to be out all night, so this was going to be the best opportunity to look at this DVD intimately. I did not mention it to them, and as soon as the hung up, I grabbed the DVD and stuck it on my laptop. With what, duct tape? As soon as it loaded, I noticed that episode _0004 had now been replaced with Rest in Peace, Mommy and Diddy. Okay, so rest in peace, Mommy and Diddy. Okay, we have that established. Which sent a deep chill down my back. Well, yeah, it's Diddy. At least that's what you put in the text. Since my cousin was now asleep, I plugged in my earbuds so he can sleep without having to hear anything from the episode. Normally an episode of Max and Ruby would have 3 short stories, but this episode only had 1. It started off quite lighthearted. Max and Ruby were playing tag in the garden and their parents were on the porch watching them play. However, something was off. The sound was playing in reverse, and the parents' faces were that of sadness, and a film grain became present, which grew worse and worse every second, and it panned to the mother and father in a voice of deep sorrow. The father spoke. Just a whole run-on sentence, and then the father spoke. It's such a shame, he sighed. Then cut short to the sound of static and a large scream, followed by the sound of 2 people choking, while the mother and father mumbled to each other in the background, blah 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 blah, but it was impossible to understand them. The sounds were so realistic, it made me almost physically sick. And then the screen cut to white for a split second. Then the scene transitioned over to Max and Ruby standing in front of what looked like a gravestone labeled, "Rest in peace, Mommy and Daddy." Okay, so it's not Diddy, it's Daddy. So is Diddy the daddy? Because I don't know Max and Ruby's parents. So it might as well just be Puffy. Well, I'm waiting for Biggie to come out. And 112. The 2 of them had no faces. At this point, there was no sound apart from the faint static, and the scene remained on screen for about a minute and a half before it cut away into black. It then changed scene again, now showing Max and Ruby sitting in the Ruby's room, while undecipherable whispering became apparent and grew louder over time. Both of them were subbing uncontrollably, while transparent clips of a murder playing in reverse flashed on the screen. The father pulled a knife out of his neck, picked up a bloody axe, and hacked away at the course of the mother before she came back to life, and he walked up the stairs. Okay. By this point, the whispering became louder, but more of the whispering voices started to disappear, and this very second it came down to one voice. It was a rather angry woman's voice who screamed to burn in hell. Absolutely horrified! Wow, thank. The scene had changed to the most disgusting yet satisfying I had ever witnessed. It showed Max sitting in his room. He was standing on a chair with a noose hanging from the ceiling. He had brought it around his neck. The scene faded to black and the static got louder almost instantly. It then cut to Ruby walking in on her brother. And naked. Okay, I'm kidding. No. She's not a pedophile in the story. At least from what I can tell. I said it also because one of the pictures there that's M'd just side does look pretty pedophilic if you have to ask me. So I don't know what to expect. It could be interpreted either way before I really continue on, but let's keep going. She let out a gut-twisting scream, and the camera was panned on her face as the sound of the chair being kicked and the same choking from Bigor began to play. The picture of Ruby's face stayed on the screen for a good 5 minutes, but this time her eyes had returned as the same gaping... Oh, excuse me. The same gaping holes. It sounded weird out of context. Okay, anyways. Ruby then started crying, and as before, there were no other facial features, and the static slowly grew louder and drowned out the sound of her cries. The scene cut to black with a loud static. When the screen returned, Ruby was sitting now on her own, in the garden by 2 gravestones. One was labeled "Rest in Peace, Mommy and Daddy," and the other "Rest in Peace, Brother." She then started to look at the camera, while glowing pupils, not pupils, P-O-O, pupils, then spake to me. Well, whoever's watching this is because you never watched any of me and my brother's episodes, so one of these days you will regret this. The screen had faded to black afterwards, and at this point I had already been sick and was sitting all shaken. The episode seemed to have come to an end at last, as the Max and Ruby theme song played slowly in reverse. I was about to eject the DVD with the same image came up like it did on the TV. This time, however, there was text above it that said, "Death is our only release, the 2 rabbits." There were no credits or anything else. It stayed on disc for a few seconds before the DVD finally popped out on my laptop. I sat there trying to contemplate what had happened. In my shock and fear, I made the stupidest decision to break the DVD up as much as I could before I left the house. shoved to pieces down the drain. And then, thankfully, I kept a few screenshots to save them to my laptop, and the next couple of days went past without anything unusual happening. I had a few nightmares about the DVD, but luckily that was all. My cousin had gone back home along with the rest of the family, and she doesn't have her Christmas present anymore, or whatever it was to her. Because I don't know the time frame of this anymore because of how confusing it all is. And it was a late night, and my parents had gone out for dinner, leaving me to watch TV. And then, I heard what sounded like someone posting something through the door. At this point, the DVD had left my mind since I had not told anyone about it. However, it all came floating back when I looked down at the letter in front of me. It was just messily folded up, and it read, "Death is our only release." Wow. Well, guys, I think I made a final decision that I am going to be doing the streaming subcategory route because I really did think I'll be able to pull off doing gameplay and reading horrible internet stories at the same time, but evidently it's not going to work out the way I wanted to. So we'll be doing the creepypastas, and then we'll be doing the chill streams, or maybe we'll call it something else. Whatever, I'll think about it later, but yeah, these chill streams, or at least these chill levels or categories, or 1 through 10, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. It's over. I'm gonna be done with it because, evidently so, because of the internet being a little bit iffy today, amongst other things. It's just not gonna work out anymore. So we'll be doing the actual gameplay ones. It'll be a lot more quiet, a lot more chill and smooth, and all nice and cuddly wuddly. And then we'll be here, and then it'll just be utter madness in the creepypasta series. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. And for the plans for the chill streams, or whatever the, I guess, pseudo sequel series will be, we'll be doing the Minecraft house mainly, as well as the Disney Infinity build. So it's just real creative. And then of course some MVC 3, and then I might return to Rec Room. I don't know. I'll think about it. But yeah, that's it for now. See ya.